We're going to get started with today's meeting. I'm going to open the meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals, March 28, 2022. We're going to conduct this meeting with the rules and procedures adopted by this board at the January meeting. In the unlikely case of emergency, you have two exits, one over here, one over here. Please leave in a calm, orderly fashion. Introduction of the board. To my right, we have Kelly Cochran, we have Todd Ruthven, I'm Jeremy Marshall, Tom York, and Jody Beats. Yes. Clerk of the board, we have Sarah. Director of Development, we have Ron Brandt. We have John Weinborn, the zoning officer, code enforcement officer, John DeFlori, and also in our audience, we have the town supervisor, Pete Inglesby. Yeah. Please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Everybody should have a chance to read the minutes. So, is there a motion to accept the minutes? A motion to accept. Second. Motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? I'm going to abstain. I'm not here for the meeting. I test the legal publishing of the legal notice. There was one legal notice published on March 20th, 2022 for tonight's agenda for ZB 030122 Myers RV. I'm going to continue the public hearing for ZB 01 or 020122 Safe Place Storage. Applicant wishes a request to an area variance in accordance with Chapter 165, Article 6, Section 165, 1K of the Town Code, wishes to erect a 130-foot wide by 131-foot long mini warehouse having a total square footprint of 16,929 square feet. Town Code states the maximum width of the mini warehouse shall be 40 feet with a maximum square footprint of 8,000 square feet. Property is at 6025 Denny Drive, located in limited industrial. Is anybody here to speak for or against this? Please stand, state your name, and over yours.
Okay. I'm Paul Gillette. I am the owner of the property and here to present hoping to build that property. Due to the easement that goes right through the middle of the property and the type of self-storage which is climate controlled for that particular building, we are looking to do a quieter building, can't be quite as long because of the easement that goes right through the middle. And it is more efficient for heating a more square building than a long building, plus square footing outside, and makes more sense for the parcel. We build a more square climate control building. That's the only climate control building there, but that one we're looking for a variance. And we did receive a variance on the two buildings for width in the original property. We'll call it the first phase down before, and that worked out great. Customers are still looking for climate control storage, and we're just looking to buy that. We have that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Anybody else? No? Any questions from the board?
I have a question about the zoning changes, Ron, because we're looking to update the zoning for mini storage, right, for climate controlled use.
The town is looking at some criteria for special use permits,
Okay.
and copies of that were sent to you originally from John to you, and then I forwarded it on to make sure that everybody got them. Those are something we can talk about later tonight if you want, or
No, I was just wondering about in relation to this variance, because would you say it's imminent that eventually this use would be allowed for the code?
well,
Or hopefully.
hopefully it would go to the town board next month, and the town board would decide to send it or not to the county. If they do, then you'd be looking at the second meeting in May when the changes, whatever they are, would be in effect.
One comment to add, though, it's just like when we did the solar in this town, we had a moratorium, but the application that was already put forward
had to be acted on by the board, even though legislation was coming. So we have to review this under the current legislation, even though, as Ron stated, yes, it's a process, and it might be a few months, it might be 6 months. We're not sure on the turnaround. But that's why it's in front of you guys right now, as a valuable opportunity for the applicant to move forward with his current project. As we shouldn't hold up a decision on legislation that we don't know a time frame.
Okay.
Any other questions from the board? I have one for you is, so the board is bound by granting the minimum relief where possible. Can you talk about how this is the minimum, size and whatnot for this building? Why would you grant the variance for the minimum relief?
Okay, so, we have two front setbacks. So the Gillette Road is a front setback, and, Commercial Drive is a front setback. So you have to be so far back from there. And then we have the easement that goes right through the middle of the property. And so, we made it as long as we could within that front setback, between front setback and that easement, and then squared it off to, make it as efficient as possible, for that style building. We have to put in heating, cooling, sprinklers, all that stuff. So that's why we did what we did. We just basically made it a square building, but to the length that would be allowed to the front setback, to the easement there.
Any comments from staff? Dan?
I just want to elaborate what he's talking about there. He's allowed to have a 200 foot one side building by 40 by code. So he's only saying 1/3. So already he's quite shorter than because of the easements that he has currently. So you're only looking at one side to get the variance to. The code doesn't speak to square footage. So I know that when you read your description here, it references square footage, but code doesn't technically say what the square footage has to be. Yes, it's implied. When you take 200 by the 400, you would get square footage, but it's not a driving factor here on the square footage, just so you guys are aware.
Thanks. Any other comments from staff? None? So before I proceed with this, I'd like the board to look at that resolution. There's been a lot of discussion over this resolution and what we're gonna do with it, so it's a little bit different than what you normally have. You can see that you can, if we close this, you can make a motion to approve the variance, you can make a motion to deny the variance, or you can make a motion to table it. I'm going to close the public hearing for 02/01/22, a safe place storage, and open the public hearing for 03/01/22, Myers RV, 6200 New York State Route 96 in Farmington. Applicant wishes to erect a 118 square foot total sign area, building mounted commercial speech sign on the front of the building, elevation facing State Route 96. The code restricts the maximum size of the building mounted commercial sign to 48 square foot in the sign area where the facing the 96, State Route 96. Property is located at 6200 State Route 96. Zone general business, major throughway overlay district, throughfare overlay district, and Main Street overlay district. Is there anybody here to speak for or against this? Please stand, state your name for viewers.
Jeff Lorenz, I'm with Myers. So the renderings that we sent originally were approved, and I missed a meeting last month, and we were waiting to revisit this. So I'm really waiting to see what the resolution is going to be on your end.
Anybody else here to speak for or against? Yep, go ahead.
Chairman, I'll give you a little background on this. This project, as it went through the planning board, the rendering was on the elevations, but we never had it actually approved from the planning board or just the sign. And so when the sign came through a permit, it was off the sign code. So with that being said, we talked to the planning board at their meeting, and as they had approved it on all their elevations, they are in support of the size compared to the size of the building. So the ratio of sign to building, But again, it's above code, so it would rely on you guys for if you feel it is appropriate or not, but as the planning board want me to let
That's
you
the
know,
problem. That's what it looks like, right?
that's what they're proposing.
That's what
to
they're
make it look
proposing.
like. Yes, if that's okay with you guys, but through the entire project, as the applicant just stated, this has been on their building. Unfortunately, it might have been an oversight or what have you, but it was above code, so we're going through the process at this point.
Please also note that we do have young pine trees planted out front, so they will be established and be blocking most of the building. So the bigger sign, the better, so we can have to be noticed that that's how we looked at it.
Any questions or comments from the board? No? None? Any from staff?
Yeah, I think that John and I looked at the size of the sign and I believe it's 88 square feet. When it was originally calculated, it was encompassing a lot of flat building area because we just took the width and went the whole length of it. I will say that helps the applicant because it significantly reduces the variance that's being requested. I also will say that size alone isn't necessarily an indicator of an issue of concern to the character and the neighborhood of the community. In this particular instance, the sign is very simple. It says Myers RV and it has the logo. It's identifiable to the passing motorist, and I believe that helps in not distracting the motorist's attention from the highway, having to read a lot of message that might be otherwise on a sign of that size. I think this is a good example of an application where a variance could be warranted, and I believe that it fits, as the planning board has determined, well with the rendering of the elevation of the building.
Great, thank you. I'm going to close public hearing ZB 030122 from Myers RV and move to board deliberations and decisions. On ZB 020122 for safe place storage, is there a motion? Which way?
I'll motion to approve it, the following conditions.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Motion second. Determination of the zoning board of appeals. The benefit does outweigh the detriment to the community or neighborhood, therefore the request variance to erect a proposed single-story climate control condition mini warehouse building approximately 4.73 acres of the overall 9.76 acres site and having a building width of 131 feet and a length of 130 feet for a square footage of 1,730 square feet is approved with the following conditions. The applicant is hereby granted the area variance that allows the construction of a proposed climate controlled condition, single-story mini warehouse structure having a maximum feet of width of 131 feet and maximum total storage building area of 17,030 square feet be placed on a 4.75 acre portion of the overall 9.76 acres site shown on the drawing prepared by Donald H. Lewis, professional engineer, and the applicant's engineer entitled variance site plan having the latest revision of 12222 sheet number 2A, project number E232. That is to obtain a final site plan approval from the town planning board, which is to include a proposed single-story climate control condition mini warehouse structure to be located on this 4.75 acre portion of the overall 9.76 acre. This area variance is null and void. The applicant is to obtain a building permit from the town development office for the construction of proposed building and site improvements. This area variance is granted only for a proposed single-story climate controlled mini warehouse structure identified above. Herein, it does not apply to any other climate control condition single-story mini warehouse structure not known at this time. That was a mouthful. Do you understand the conditions?
Yes, sir.
All right. Roll call vote, please.
Kelly. Yes. Todd,
Yes.
Tom.
Aye.
Jody. Aye. Jeremy.
Aye. So you have your variance.
Yeah.
Moving on to ZB 030122. Seeker.
I have a motion to waive the reading of the seeker and accept it as it's.
Is there a second?
I said,
Motion is second. Roll call vote.
Kelly. Aye. Todd.
Aye.
Jeremy.
Aye.
Tom.
Aye.
Jody. Aye.
All right, and for resolution.
make a motion to waive the reading of it and accept it.
All right.
With the,
Yep.
findings.
Determination of zoning board of appeals after reviewing the above 5 factors finds that the benefit does outweigh the detriment to the community or neighborhood, and therefore the requested area variance to erect a proposed building mounted commercial speech sign having total square footage area of approximately 88 square feet, which is to be placed upon the southern elevation of the existing building located at 6200 State Route 96 is approved with the following conditions. The applicant to prepare a final site plan drawing showing the following information that is to be contained on the drawing provided by Vital Signs, last revised 11/1/21. You're gonna get a copy of this, by the way.
Okay.
I see you taking notes. There's to be a title block that reads, final sign site plan, south elevation, Myers Finger Lakes, RV 6200 State Route 96. The drawing is to have a note that reads area variance ZB 030122 granted March 28, 2022. There's to be a signature line added for the planning board chairman to sign and date. A copy of the final signed site plan drawing referenced above is to be placed in the property file with the area variance application. A copy of this resolution is provided to the planning board and the applicant sign company. You understand those conditions? Great. Vote please.
Kelly. Aye. Todd.
Aye.
Tom.
Aye.
Jody. Aye. Jeremy.
Aye. Back to variance.
Thank you very much.
Sir.
Have a good evening, everyone.
Rules and procedures, other board matters, review the rules and procedures. I thought we voted on this before. I forgot we didn't. I said that earlier in the meeting, my fault. Everybody's had a chance to look at it and everybody made their recommendations on it. And I think they've been all updated, right?
Yeah, I sent them out whenever we did
Yeah.
this last January.
Is there any more comments or concerns about the rules and procedures? Anything from staff on it? And I think we are comfortable to move forward to vote on it. Okay, is there a motion to vote in acceptance of the rules and procedures for 2022?
Motion to accept. I'll second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. All opposed? We have our rules of procedure from the March meeting, not the January meeting. Public comments. Anybody here want to make any comments? Hearing none?
Just two.
Go ahead.
If they haven't already heard from previous meetings, we have a committee, that's kind of picked this design with Farmington Chamber, Finger Lakes Speeding Racetrack, and some of our staff for all the roads coming into Farmington, replace them. And the second thing is our March newsletter is in the mail, so you should have it within a day or two.
Great, thank you. Anybody else? Hearing none. Director of Development update.
Other than the ongoing work with the code for the new warehouse project, we're looking at something Kelly's interested in over there, and that's the rezoning application for the zoning board of appeals for Farming Garden Market Center. You have those minutes that you had? Do they have any questions?
I already addressed that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we took care of that.
I addressed it. Actually, there is an E on the end of my name, my last name. I'll fix that. The German way.
Yeah.
I've only known you since we were like 16.
It's okay, it's okay. But I did that privately. I don't want to embarrass her.
Me neither. Oh, yes, we love her.
Anything else, Ron?
No, that's it for now. There's more coming, guys. I mean, it just doesn't seem to stop. So we'll be hopefully dealing with the projects that they have a lot of variances. This one tonight was just an anomaly. It was a unique situation. So thank you for taking the reins, the bull with the reins, or his horse for the reins. That's it.
John, you got anything?
As Ron said, we are working on that code, so hopefully that'll solve all the issues for the next mini storage site that's conditioned that wants to come into town. We are still looking for a clerk of the board position, so if you have any enemies that you'd like to recommend for that.
That would love to be served.
I have on here, next meeting is April 25th, but we have not received any applications for the deadline today, so next month's vacation month. We'll be back on May 23rd if we get anything. Chairman, just so you're aware, I will be coming back from Denver that night. I arrive in Buffalo at 6, so I will not be taking that meeting. So just a heads up.
So I will be filling in for him then.
Enjoy.
If we have anything.
What's the name there?
May 23rd. It's a week before Labor Day.
Andy, you got anything?
Just real quick, COVID tests, if you need them, we still have a redundancy. So I will.
Cases.
Clarify.
So I'm doing my due diligence to try to, and if you have anybody else that might want some, by all means, let us know. We might even deliver at this point. Just try to get some of them out there.
It's gonna be the first day. We're doing that.
And then, as John said, clerk of the board position. We also have multiple openings throughout the town, so if you have anybody that's interested that wants to work, then we have a job for everybody. Summary.
Great, thank you. So changing it, next meeting date will be May 23rd. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Well, maybe.
A second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.